Through this without crying. My name is Louise, and me and my family own a wheat farm in Kansas. We are all certainly lifelong Republicans, and we were so happy to vote for Trump in all three of his elections. However, we were certainly not aware that he was going to put a funding freeze on all USAID. 100% of our wheat produce is bought by USAID and shipped out of the country. So our farm is completely bankrupt. We have no customer. We had this whole deal with the U.S. government, and now that is just gone in a second. And we are completely decimated. USAID buys about $2 billion worth of American farmers' goods annually, and every single one of those farms is in the same boat as us now. It's a sinking boat. He didn't consider us at all when he made these decisions, and it would be impossible for any world leader to do something that could negatively affect us more than what Trump has done to us. And we voted for him.
There's stories all over the internet about farmers going bankrupt across the country. And I want you to know, I want to feel sorry for you. I'm struggling. I'm struggling to care at all. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because typically I have empathy, but I'm really, really tired of telling you farmers and you people that are in rural parts of the United States, I'm tired of telling you what your vote does to you. Yeah, I mean, you guys in the red states, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, and you're broke. You don't have any money. West Virginia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas. You get my point. You're broke. And yet you keep voting for the Republican Party that wants nothing to do with you. And farmers, guess what? You're included. But you keep voting red, and now you want me to feel sorry for you. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Hey everybody, it's Will. I wanted to let you know that I appeared on News Nation this morning to talk about the overwhelming increase in farmer bankruptcies this year in the United States of America. Already this year, since President Trump took office, we've had more farmer bankruptcies under Section 12 than we had in the entire year in 2024. This is being caused by a lot of the policies that President Trump passed, and there's no light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to these bankruptcies. Now, a lot of you may not know that Chapter 12 bankruptcy was actually originally created for farmers and fishermen in order for them to reorganize debt when they ran into difficult financial times. That's happening a lot lately due to very specific policies on the part of the president. First, you have the tariffs. The tariffs have been on again and off again for quite some time. I just read this morning, and it blew my mind, that there have been over 132 different iterations of the Trump tariff policy that's been put out there to the American public and the rest of the world since his inception when he first came into office. Think about that. 130 plus versions of the tariff plan for this country. You ask yourself the question, how can any other country, or how can any commodity organization in the United States of America plan around that lack of planning? It's very, very difficult to do. It's caused other countries to throw tariffs onto the United States of America, which have cost us overseas markets, not only in row crops, but also in beef. And the problem is getting worse and worse. The second issue that we face in row cropping is that the break-even price right now for a commodity like corn is around $4 a bushel. And that price of corn has been dipping down below and a little bit above that per bushel price needed to break even for quite some time now. As a matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, the price of corn was somewhere around $3.80 a bushel, which was below break even. Right now, it's anywhere from $4.05 to $4.25, depending on how far you look out to December. But the bottom line is this. There aren't going to be massive profits on row crops this year due to the president's tariff policies, leading to a reduction in the amount of markets out there for commodities like corn, soybeans, etc. And this again is adding pressures to farmers, especially row crop farmers, that depend on credit in order to do their farming every year. The other issue driving up cost is the increased energy cost in this country. Now, if you haven't done so, I'm going to encourage you to go over to the page of my good friend, Mr. Global, and look at some of his latest work on energy costs and energy prices. He's made a prediction which looks like it's going to become true that's really frightening. And that is, in the very near future, energy prices, your utility bill that you pay at your home or on your farm, could be greater than the cost of your mortgage. And that's really, really a frightening scenario for farmers across the country. As these costs increase and as markets disappear and our ability to sell our commodities around the world decrease, it's setting up a perfect storm for bankruptcies in this country. The final thing I want to tell you is that it's no different when a farmer files for Chapter 12 reorganization than it is if a small business does it or an individual does it. The bottom line is a farmer comes out of that bankruptcy with destroyed or credit that's been diminished quite a bit. And in the farming industry, just like with many small businesses and larger businesses, where you need credit to operate, to buy the inputs that you need to produce the commodities that you're later going to sell, the difference between good credit and bad credit can mean several points in interest rates and the increased amount of money that you've got to put down at the beginning or the amount you have to collateralize in order to get a loan. This could mean you have to put more and more acreage up or more and more equipment up just to get the operating capital that you need to put crops in the ground or to put cattle in the field. So this is a really dark cloud that's building over agriculture right now as a direct result of of President Trump's agricultural policies. The other thing I want to tell you, and we can't forget this because I know that a lot of you who follow me and who are going to see this video are mental health advocates as well. Anytime we see a significant increase in farmer bankruptcies like we're seeing right now, we also see a significant increase in farmer unalivings. As the grandson of someone who went down that path, I can tell you that it impacts families for years and years to come. Anyway, that's the breakdown. That's what I shared on News Nation today. I hope you'll go check out the clip. And if you want to change policy in America, get better rural policy, better policy for agriculture, education, and healthcare, join us here on the Back 40 to fight the good fight. Go to our website, the Back 40 Official, all spelled out.com. Join to get our newsletter and join to get updated information. We're going to events all over the country. We've been to Missouri. We've been to Texas. We've been to Illinois. We've been to Kansas. We've been to Oklahoma. We've been to Arkansas, and we've been to Iowa. And we've got requests from all over the country. We're going to be up near St. Louis just later this week on Saturday. We're going to be in Perry, Oklahoma, and speaking to students at Oklahoma State University in August. It's really a great place to be if you want to impact change in rural America. And I'm asking you today to take that leap of faith and step out there and join. Have a great day, everybody.
American farmers aren't quitting. They're dying. We lose more than 300 farmers to suicide every single year in the United States. That's more than double the national average. Not because they fail, but because the system is designed to crush them. Percy Schmeiser didn't buy Monsanto seeds. Wind blew GMO pollen onto his land. They sued him anyway. That's how broken this is. You don't even own the food you grow if it's patented. USDA agents raided an Amish farm at gunpoint. Why? Raw milk. The public seed library in Missouri was shut down. Why? No barcodes. You think you're free to farm? Try selling beef without USDA approval. Try saving your seeds. Try skipping vaccines for your livestock. Try doing it your way and watch what happens. This isn't about food safety. It's about control. Control the seeds, control the food, control the food, control the people. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I want to jump on the bandwagon of saying that I regret my vote for Trump. My whole family does. My husband and I own a farm in Ohio that was funded through the Inflation Reduction Act, which Biden signed into law. And now the executive orders from Trump are rolling back all of that funding for us. So now we can no longer afford our farm. And when all that happened, it was like a lightning bolt hit my brain. And I realized that I shouldn't just be voting for myself, that Trump's policies and EOs are hurting millions of people. but it took it affecting me personally to understand what I had done was wrong. And I think it's really important for anyone to come out who voted for him and is now negatively impacted by the executive orders, or maybe you have friends or family, especially in minority communities, who are being very heavily impacted by what's going on right now. So yeah, I think it's time for us to stop being so selfish.
Donald Trump, don't backpedal now. Now you're saying or acting like you're regretting or that it was a mistake that you did this mass deportation, although you set it in place. And this was planned and thought out way before your presidency when y'all were concocting up this Project 2025. You had plenty of time to think about the consequences this was going to have, and you still proceeded with it. So now you're just realizing that all immigrants aren't criminals? Now you want to realize that they are actually hardworking people that have been working on these farms for over 20 years and just want to make an honest living for their family? Now you want to realize that now you have shipped all these hardworking immigrants off to their native land, that us Americans are not going to want to work in these fields for the prices that they are paying these immigrants? Now you're seeing that the farmers are suffering because of your dumb ass decisions. And it's sad because your blatant racism wouldn't allow you to actually delve into how agriculture works and how important the immigrants are when it comes to farming. And now you want to sit on a podium saying something needs to be done and that we have to use our common sense. Don't get French with us now. We ain't got to do nothing because I did not vote for you. I did not do this. So you need to fix this since they, the MAGA people, voted for you.
Yeah, we voted for Trump. Daddy owns a 1,000-acre farm up here in North Dakota. Yeah, we love Trump. Yes, 80% of our workers didn't show up this week. No, I do not know how to harvest the grain. Oh yeah, Daddy said we'll go out of business if we have to pay Americans to do this work. Do I regret my vote? No, not at all. We are putting America first. Oh, it's quite possible we're going to go out of business, but we still love Trump, even if he put us out of business directly. Plus the tariffs coming in. I mean, yeah, it's going to be really rough on us. No, see, if we had let the Democrats win, then trans people would be allowed to exist, and we can't have that. Yeah, it's okay even if we go out of business because it's important that less than 1% of the country gets bullied and doesn't feel comfortable living their lives. We will literally sacrifice our livelihood and our entire way of life just to make sure that people suffer.
So Texas farms don't have no workers? I like salad, y'all. I mean, what were we going to do? I'm not going out there. Y'all should have left them folks alone. Now look at us. We already overweight, out of shape, high blood pressure. Now we ain't got no vegetables. I am just waiting on MAGA to report to the fields. It's your turn.
Oh yeah. Here in North Dakota, we definitely are regretting our votes for Grandpa Tariff. Oh yeah, me and my husband run a seed farm up here, and Daddy runs a soybean farm. And the tariffs are hitting North Dakota harder than almost any other state. Yeah, we're really concerned about it. Last time Trump was president, we had to get a bailout, and we were hoping that this time it would be better. But I'm not seeing any signs that we're going to get spared this time around either. We had to pick up a couple pieces of steel in West Fargo yesterday, and we asked them if the tariffs had been affecting the prices yet, and they said just talking about the tariffs affects the price. You know, China will start going to Brazil and Africa for their soybeans, and then they'll establish relationships and we'll get completely cut out of the loop. Trump says it's short-term pain for long-term gain. So far in my life, I've never seen the tariffs do any gain for any of us farmers here in North Dakota. I'm not really even sure why we voted for him.
So now Cheeto Puff is saying that he want to bring the immigrants back to the United States because the inner city people, us, are not getting in the field like he thought that we were going to. Y'all really voted for that big songy Cheeto Puff to sit up here and play Jeopardy with our lives? He is literally playing Jeopardy with the American lives, and y'all sat there and voted for that. What did this man really think was getting ready to happen? You gathering enough people to go snatch people off the streets, taking them out the fields. Now stuff starting to fall, produce not being produced. Now you want to bring them back. You're going to have to pay them to bring them back. Do you know how you embarrass them folks, snatching them off the streets, throwing them in vans, throwing them in cars, putting stuff over their head? They don't know where they're going, throwing them in these camps, mistreating them, and now you want to bring them back? This is your president, right? Bravo to y'all, bravo to y'all.
And there's reports now that some farmers have 100% of their workers not showing up and they're being forced to shut down. In South Texas, they grow grapefruit, they grow oranges, lots of different citrus varieties, leafy greens, onions, potatoes, peppers. So not only are the prices of what we can get going to go up at the grocery store, but also there's going to be massive food waste if there's nobody picking these crops when they're ready to be picked. I hope MAGA likes a diet of strictly processed foods.
I have no one to work my farm. I do not understand this, and I know that this was not what Donald Trump meant to happen. I know that he doesn't want us good Trump supporter folks suffering, but we are. Donald Trump, please reverse this. I'm a white person.
Good morning, good people. Happy what the hell today is? Friday. I hope you all are doing well and swell, and if you're not, like I always say, fake that shit. This is my morning hair, so that's what y'all get. Check it. Did y'all really think black people was about to come and pick on y'all farms? Was that the plan? Because, you know, we're already still the majority poor class in this country. And, you know, now they're stripping jobs away from even professional black people, like myself and others. You know, 105,000, I think, was the latest report for last month of black professional women who have been displaced and lost their roles. But this is for white farmers in the United States. I really want to speak to y'all. Did y'all really motherfucking think that when y'all got rid of all of the people who are actually doing that hard work, that we was coming? Wait. Y'all really thought? Let me tell you something. I'd rather burn in hell. You hear what I'm saying? I would rather burn in hell. I would never, and I'm sure most of us feel the same, we would never come to your fucking farms, okay? We're not coming. So you made a bad guess. You made a horrible gamble. We're not coming. We would rather burn in hell, or burn this bitch to the fucking ground. Try us. Have a good day. The fuck?
Thanks to Trump's tariffs, more farmers than ever are going bankrupt because they can't afford the machines used to do their job. Because of the tariffs, the red states are closing their stores because the goddamn the prices are so high, people don't want to pay it. Everything he said was a lie. This man was so desperate to be reelected to avoid prison, he lied his ass off. What a surprise, people. Donald Trump has been known to be a pathological liar. He is literally the worst candidate for president we could have ever have put in the Oval Office. And we are paying for it with our lives and our pockets. But this man is living in complete luxury while we're suffering. Yeah. I hope you learned your lesson.
So on election night, I thought that there were a number of states that would see what happened in the past and make a wise decision. One of those states that I thought would be wise would be Iowa. But on election night, I was soon brought to reality. Only 5 counties of the entire state voted for Kamala Harris. Donald Trump won overwhelmingly in the state of Iowa. But now you're starting to see an increasing number of bankruptcies in that state. As a matter of fact, the numbers are trending up. And more importantly, they are almost as high as they were during the COVID period.
More of America's family farms are going bankrupt. Researchers at the University of Arkansas finding that more than 250 farms filed for Chapter 12 bankruptcy between April 2024 and this March, marking a drastic increase in financial distress. According to the data, nearly 90 farms filed for bankruptcy in the first quarter of this year, almost double the number from the same quarter in 2024. Analysts are contributing the rise to a handful of factors, including inflation, higher interest rates, and labor shortages, which are being exacerbated by President Trump's mass deportation campaign.
And now I was leading the nation, the entire nation, in the number of bankruptcies. Now I want you to be aware of this. The numbers were trending down during Biden, but now they are on the rise. Your family farms are collapsing. Your local investors are bankrupt. Your GDP has shrunk more than 6% this year alone. And yet you're still waving the flag for the man who lit the fire to inflame, burn down your house. My mother would always say, you could take a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. Now, I have a couple of questions. What has Trump ever done for you? What return did you get on your investment? I'll tell you what, you got racism, and you sure do love paying for it.
So for those of y'all who've been keeping up with recent events as it relates to the farmers, right? We talked about Nebraska, and then we talked about Iowa. And all of these farmers, you know, are losing their minds because they're losing their farms and, you know, they're scared. Well, let me tell y'all what I heard today. So the lobbyist groups for the farmers are proposing another bailout of $16 billion. The last time syphilitic Sid did this in his first administration, they received a whopping $24 billion in bailouts. Well, this time around, syphilitic Sid said he doesn't know if he can do that. He's not sure that that's something that they can accommodate. Look, I love the farmers. The farmers are wonderful. They farm, right? They farm. But, you know, we're trying to cut fraud and waste and a lot of unnecessary spending. So now these people and their lobbyists are trying to get bailouts. But what I want to understand is, what happened to you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps? What happened to we voted for him because he's a great businessman? What happened to we're going to put our trust in him because he's going to help us? Help y'all do what exactly? Lose your farms? Yes, that part. Because you know who invests in these companies that buy up bankrupted farms? Your vice president. So, to all you farmers that voted for this, thinking it was going to be like the last time and he was going to give y'all a bailout and y'all would get those subsidies to support yourselves and your farms and your families, it's not coming. Not this time around. It's not coming. You can just forget it. So, I wish you well. I hope it works out for you. Maybe, you know, somebody can whisper in his ear and change his mind. You know, you might want to reach out to Ivanka, because she's his favorite and he listens to her, I guess. But they're not really speaking, you know, ever since like the insurrection. But I don't know. This is just word on the street. You know, it's just gossip. But you didn't hear it from me. But, you know, good luck.
Nebraska, it seems that you should always be grateful for what you have. And at this point, y'all wasn't grateful enough. Because you thought voting against your interests was better for you. Now, Nebraska's about to go broke. They say Nebraska's going to go broke in about 5 months. They'll be filing for bankruptcy. The whole entire freaking state. Not just one farm. All of them. Whole state. Because Nebraska is a cattle ranch state. You know, they got corn and all that stuff. But all the farmers are going broke and about to lose their farms. You want to know why? I bet you can guess why. But see, this is what voting against your interest gets you. Now, how long did Trump say, if I'm elected, I'm deporting everybody? He's been saying it for 2 years. But yet and still, the Nebraska farmers who own all these cattle farms and corn and all soybean, all this farmland, 95% of their workers are undocumented workers because they can get the good labor for a cheaper price. Being that Trump had already stopped all the free money going to the farmers, the farmers decided, we gonna vote with Trump. We gonna vote with Trump. Now, they ain't got no workers because either the workers have been deported or they not showing up. So all of these farmers are going broke and about to lose their farm. My question is, when you voted for Trump in 2016 and all those farmers lost their farm, did you think it wasn't going to happen again? When he told you over and over and over again that if he's elected, he's going to deport everybody, documented, undocumented. If you look to be Mexican, you got to get out of here. So, Nebraska, you decided we gonna rock with our boy. Fuck them farms. We don't need them farms. Because Kamala and Biden saved your asses one time. But Trump told you exactly what he was gonna do. And he's done it. Now, all of y'all up there crying and making videos and talking about how stupid are we? You stupid as hell. Because you voted against yourself. You are that racist. You have that much hate for another race of people that you voted against your own well-being, knowing that these people work for you. They come to work every day. But you know who ain't coming to work on your farm? Them other white people that ain't got no job. That's sitting at home, getting that check. They ain't coming out. So now what you gonna do? You can't save yourself because you doomed yourself when you voted for Trump. See, this is what racism and hatred does for you. You hated Mexicans that much that you are about to lose your livelihood, your farm, your life, your home, your house, your land, everything. Simply for hate, racism. There's no other way to put it. You did that to yourself. Now live with it, because we out of here.
Starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax, to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States. Hay producers in Idaho and Utah that export alfalfa hay to China are now seeing 135% tariffs put on their product, and all of a sudden, they don't have anywhere to ship it. They held it all winter in hopes of sending it off to China in the spring, and now China's not willing to buy. Soybean producers are once again being hit harder than they were in the first Trump administration, and China, for its part, has diversified where it pulls these products from, with Brazil becoming the #1 soybean exporter and other countries picking up the slack for honey, for beeswax, and for hay. around the world. Now, China's doing a great